Stop everything. The NBA playoffs just delivered an instant classic, and the fallout is still shaking the league. Witness the San Antonio Spurs' incredible Game 7 triumph over the OKC Thunder, securing their spot in the finals. While Wemby showed why he's truly an alien, the real story here is the Thunder's stunning collapse. One young star's performance left analysts speechless, sparking a firestorm of debate about his future and whether he can ever truly compete at the highest level. You won't believe the brutal takes on what went wrong for OKC in this do-or-die moment.
Spurs trying to get there for the first time in 12 years. Hit to Keldon Johnson. Banks that three.
So many big time players, so many guys stepping up.
And the Chants are on the ropes. Alexander turns to the elbow for two. Thunder trying to keep their season alive. Hartenstein blocked by quarterback. It's Wemby's West. The Spurs are going to the NBA Finals.
We want four more. We're not done. Go Spurs, go!
The Spurs, NBA Finals bound for the first time in a dozen years, taking on the Knicks. That starts this week. Quinn Richardson knows very much about these teams. Q, good morning to you. When you look at what the Spurs were able to do against the defending champs on the road in Game 7 as underdogs, particularly on the defensive end, what jumps out?
Yeah, Gary, the way they were able to overwhelm, man, from start to finish, their defensive intensity was at an elite level, and they were able to maintain that, and that was the difference in the game for me. I mean, outside of SGA, and his SGA's buckets were anything but easy. He had to work to get his buckets and get his points up. But outside of him, Case and Wallace had 17. It left you looking for where was Chet? Chet is an all-star on this team. He's an all-NBA guy. They needed him to step up. For him to only have 2 field goal attempts in that game and 2 points, it was not enough, and he needed to do more for his team out there.
You were on the program saying that it has to go through SGA if the Thunder were going to make a return trip to the finals. He got his 35 points in the loss, but like you mentioned, the other starters scoring just 31 points combined. What did you see, or what did you not see from the Thunder supporting cast here?
Yeah, just weren't able to get involved. And I kind of, you hate to single out Chet, but he's box office. He's top billing, and for him to come up that short, and I would rather see him go out there and, go 2 for 14 or shoot a bad field goal percentage. But for him to not literally be involved in the game with two field goal attempts and not really, he was really not there. He was, he did some cool things defensively, got a couple blocks and rebounds, but offensively, you're right there after J-Dub, and it's you. So they needed him, and he wasn't there. That was a disappointment on that part.
Holmgren finishing with just 4 points in 33 minutes of action. It sets up an NBA Finals rematch from 1999 and an NBA Cup rematch from this year that the Knicks did win. Game 1, San Antonio on Wednesday. Q Rich hanging out with us all morning on SportsCenter. Q, much appreciated.
Yes, sir.
Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A., the Spurs win Game 7, advancing to their first NBA Finals since 2014. What did you see from this team down the stretch?
A lot of poise, a lot of courage, big-time shots from shot makers that you wouldn't expect to operate in the Game 7, considering their youth. Wembanyama, big-time shots. De'Aaron Fox, a big-time shot. Champagnie coming off the bench to give you 20 actually started. You just look at what they was doing here. He's had 20 points. He showed up and delivered. Dylan Harper showed up and delivered. It was just a collective effort. 7 players scoring in double figures for the San Antonio Spurs. They didn't sit around and play the role of spectator as Victor Wembanyama did his thing. No, they knew he would need help, and they stepped up and they delivered in the Game 7. It helped that Jalen Williams and obviously A.J. Mitchell wasn't available for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But in the end, in a Game 7 on the road, considering the youth that exists on this San Antonio Spurs team, you got to give them a boatload of credit for doing what they did tonight. They really, really looked good. They stepped up and they showed that they were made for the moment. And you got to give them their props. It was really impressive.
For the Thunder, their depth got tested, and unfortunately, they fall on the losing side of this here equation. Their chance at repeating ends in the conference finals for them. So what was different about this year's postseason run for OKC?
Well, the fact of the matter is you didn't have Jalen Williams, J-Dub, the backcourt mate of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for pretty much all of these playoffs. He really only played in about 3 games. He wasn't really, I'm talking about this entire postseason. He wasn't that effective. Shai Gilgeous shows up, he gives you 35, and he has virtually no help. Alex Caruso only hit 3 or 14 shots, and Chet Holmgren was such a no-show that they sent an APB out for him during the game. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. It was an awful no-show on his part to just attempt about a couple of shots for the game, knowing that Victor Wembanyama, a nemesis on a prep level for this man, was out there doing his thing. It is a real indictment against Chet Holmgren and the no-show that he was in tonight's game. And as a result, it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Oklahoma City Thunder, rife with picks from now through 2032, I believe it's like 13 first-round picks and 16 second-round picks they have as draft capital at their disposal. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they were looking in a different direction, looking to move Chet Holmgren to get somebody that can help offensively on that front line, because Victor Wembanyama is not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. He's going to be around a long time. And if you want to capture another championship in Oklahoma City, you got to deal with that man.
I don't know if there's any amount of help that's going to save you from a brother that's 7'4", hitting crossovers and step-back threes in the midst of a Game 7. So, Stephen A. Perk joining us here on Sports Center. Wemby, we run out of adjectives, bruh. Puts up 22, leads the Spurs to a win. What else can we say about the alien at this point, now that he's led this team to the finals?
I mean, Wemby is the best thing that happened to the NBA since LeBron James in 2003, real talk. And he checked all the boxes. Number one, he's box office, so he's going to put butts in the seats. He's the ultimate competitor on both ends of the floor, and what a beautiful performance throughout the whole course of this conference finals and the playoffs to get his team to the NBA finals. I can't speak on his leadership enough on what he's brought to the table, embodying the rest of his young squad, being a true leader, and trusting his teammates. The Spurs on the road in a tough environment, they had 7 guys in double figures tonight. And when you look at what Wembanyama did after the game, you saw his emotions. He wanted. We heard him talk about how he wanted to participate in the dunk contest, how he wanted to win the MVP, how he made the All-Star game great again. And now all of a sudden we're watching this young man embrace everything about the league, and especially headed to the NBA Finals for his first time.
It's an ascension unlike any other, quite frankly. We heard De'Aaron Fox say earlier that he set the tone in this game by putting Chet on a poster and potentially on the back of a milk carton by game's end. So SGA gives you 35. You don't get a whole lot from anybody else. Where do we assign blame, I guess, when it comes to the Thunder side of this equation?
And Chet Holmgren, we're talking about a guy that was a first-time All-Star this year and made third-team All-NBA, and was a complete no-show, not just in Game 7, all throughout the course of this series. And Wemby straight up not only pumped him, but he took his heart. He snatched his soul. Chet Holmgren was scared to compete. And now Sam Presti, he have real business decisions to make when it comes to Chet Holmgren. This is not an overreaction. This is facts. Wembanyama is not going anywhere. He's going to be here. With that being said, you got to find somebody that's going to be that dude, especially if you don't know, at times injuries happen. We saw J-Dub being out. But you got to go find a guy like a Giannis Antetokounmpo that's going to come in and move the needle and be able to go toe-to-toe at some capacity with Wembanyama, because Chet Holmgren ain't it.
Giannis on the Thunder is insane, but it feels like that's the measure you're going to have to go.